Welcome back, folks. Now it's time for us to join SIA professional artist Paul Beattie as he demonstrates another artistic essential. Settle back as we take a closer look at the practical versatility of the fan brush.
Hello, today I'm going to show you how to use a fan brush. This is a Winsor & Newton Monarch number 4 fan brush, and I'm going to show you how to paint evergreen fir trees with the brush and some grasses as well. So here we go. Don't forget to wet your brush in the water, as we're using acrylics. We got titanium white, ultramarine blue, yellow ochre, cadmium yellow light, burnt umber, and a little bit of unbleached titanium. As you can see, they're all Liquitex soft body acrylics. Okay, after you've got your brush wet, come straight in, and get some blue in there, and a little bit of the yellow ochre, just to mix a nice green. So you just mix the ultramarine blue and the yellow ochre to get a nice green. That's it. I'll use that green for the trees, maybe darken it a little slightly. What I'm going to do first here is I'm going to come in and get some of the burnt umber, add in a little bit of the yellow ochre, and a little bit of the unbleached titanium. As you can see there, it's not completely mixed into one colour. All I'm going to do here first, just to show you, I'll just do a basic shape, starting from the bottom. If you just put the brush to the paper like that and just work upwards. The higher you go, lift the brush off the paper, and that'll naturally give you a wider tree at the base and a thinner tree at the top. Now this is just to show the shape of the tree. It doesn't have to be spot on. It doesn't have to be perfect in any way, shape or form, because we're going to go completely over top of that with the actual foliage, leafage or pine needles of the tree. So here we go, in with some colour. Let's get a bit more on there and let that colour mix a bit. There you go. So when you come in, you're going to maybe start at the top of the tree, just touch it, get some of that, a bit more yellow in there, a little bit too blue, get some of that green towards the top, and then just generally turn the brush around and just start tapping it to the tree. And as you tap, just go a little bit wider, a little bit harder with the taps. If you press too hard at the beginning, you can end up with a really wide top of the tree, so you just got to touch it to your support. You don't want to press too hard. And as you bring it down, as I said, you just bring it a bit wider, just dabbing it back and forth, straight on with the brush. You don't want to change the angle of the brush. And if you see you're getting too much of the same colour, add some more mix in the colour there. Get some more blues and some yellows, and add that to it. And just bring it down the tree and just dab all the way down to the bottom. It's not really that difficult to do. Here you go, just like that. You can come in after and you can do highlights then. Once you've got the base colours down, you can come in and you can, as you can see, I've got some of the bright yellow on my brush. And I'm just going to come in and I'm just going to simply just touch here and there, not everywhere. Because if you touch everywhere, then it's going to ruin the effect. Just kind of dab the brush onto the page. And what that's doing is creating highlights in different colours, and it's also creating pine needles in your tree. There you go. That's a good basic tree, just for a basic, to show you here quickly today. And then if you, if you say you wanted to do some distant tree lines with the fan brush, it's great for that too. So you come in, you get your mix, get some blue and some yellow mixed into it too. Try not to get the acrylics on your clothes, because you will ruin them like I have today. It's just a natural process. It does happen sometimes. It's an accident, but if you do, try and clean it right away so it pulls out. So you got that as a basic tree. But if you want to do tree lines, bring the brush in and bring it straight on, and just generally just tap it this way, varying the distance between the taps and maybe the heights, and just bring it in like that and just come across the page, and it's going to show a very distant tree line. And while you're doing this also, you can vary the colour as you go along. You know, add a little bit lighter colour, a little bit darker colour, and just bring it in. And when you get a good line of the top of the trees that you want to create, you can come in and then you can start just dabbing in roughly and just creating a base for those trees. And what you've created is a complete tree line in the distance. And then if you wanted to come in and you wanted to add some grasses in front of those trees, just get some yellow on the end of your brush. I'm just using the straight cadmium yellow, but it's mixing with the paint underneath. And just come in and just make some motions just to show some blades of grass. And then you can just bring it in like that and bring this tree line further down. And just add in some tufts of grass sticking up here and there. I mean, you can go further with this, you can add a bit more detail, you can come in again with a brighter colour and just come up the edge and, you know, touch the edge of one or the two of the trees, show the direction of light's coming from the left hand side and just hitting the sides of the trees. And that's it. You could even come in and add a little bit darker colour towards the base just to show some shadow. And same with this other tree. If you wanted to come in and just add some grasses in front, you can do that. I just need a little bit more paint here so I can mix the colour. Like so. A little bit more of the cadmium yellow. Come in. There you go. And you can come in here and you can add some grasses. It's absolutely superb for doing grasses. I think it's a brilliant brush and it's got so many different functions. You can always use the contrast. Light and dark, light and dark, light and dark. You get it everywhere naturally in real life. So that's it basically. I mean, I just wanted to show you a quick way of doing different trees with a fan brush and some grasses.
Fantastic brush techniques there, Paul. Different pressure achieves really different results. Why not experiment and see how you can add texture to create your own terrific trees or simple stunning grass effects. Okay, it's time to try and solve a few more of your artistic dilemmas that you have been sending in to us at the Splash of Paint studio. Let's start off with this question from Diane Waddups, who we emailed in to ask, how is scumbling used with pastels? I've used the technique with other mediums to great effect, but haven't had the same success with pastels. Pastel scumbling is a pastel method of mixing colours optically. First lay down a colour, now lightly scumble another colour over the top, allowing the underneath colour to show through. This exploits this technique to its maximum. Try using cooler and warm colours, light and dark tones, so the underneath colour complements and contrasts the layer on top. And finally, Simon Richardson has been in touch to ask, I've always been taught that you shouldn't add too much water to acrylic, although I've seen some demonstrations recently where artists use a lot of water. Is water good or bad when mixed with acrylics? Most artists use water to thin acrylic paint, although they are often careful not to add too much water, as the consistency of the acrylic will become more like watercolours. Just a word for the wise, pick your surface carefully. There are very few rules when it comes to painting. Experiment, explore, and just because you've always been told one thing, it doesn't matter. You can always challenge yourself and try it for yourself. Well, that's all we've got time for today, folks, but remember, for more inspirational advice and top tips to support you on your artistic journey, simply visit saa.co.uk or email us at splashofpaint@saa.co.uk and we'll do our very best to help. Join us next time when we'll be joined by versatile popular artists Vic Bearcroft, Dee Cowell, Murray Ince and Pip McGarry for another great big splash of paint.
Whether you're a beginner, improver or professional, discover more about the full range of SAA membership benefits available to bring a bigger splash of paint into your life. Visit www.saa.co.uk for details.